Welcome to Active and Healthy with Gina. And just to prove that you can do your 10 minutes of Ageless Grace exercises absolutely anywhere, I've chosen a golf course today. We're out at Steenberg Golf Estate in the Western Cape. Beautiful grounds, beautiful winter's day, and we're just going to do our 10 minutes of exercises right here. So if you see me duck, it's because the golf ball's heading my way, but hopefully we should be okay. The 18th tee is that direction, not right here. So I'm going to incorporate a little bit of golfing in one of our exercises that we do, which is called Team Fit. But to start with, we're going to hit the music, and we're going to start with an exercise we call Spelling Bee, and we're going to spell the 9 provinces. So let's get started. Elbow up, we're going to spell the word Western. So a W, and then an E, and then an S, and a T, and an E, and an R, and an N. So we've got Western Cape. Over here, we've got the Northern Cape. So this one's going to be now in big block capitals. So think how we spell Northern, N-O-R, and then a T, H, E, R, N. So we got Western Cape, Northern Cape, Eastern Cape. So we're going to do this now with little letters with our finger. Eastern. Cross that T, E, R, N. Now with our head, we're going to write the word Cape in big capital letters. So you're using your whole head and neck and body. Cross that A, doing a big capital P and an E. Okay, so that's the Eastern Cape. Where else? KwaZulu-Natal. Let's be writing with our foot in the air. So we're doing K, W, A, KwaZulu. I'm just having to think about this. Z, U, L, U. And then on the floor, we're going to write the words Natal, still in capitals. Very good. Other leg, we're going to do Limpopo. So let's do L. I'm doing this still in big capital letters. M, Po, Po. Is that right? You can always rub it out if it's wrong. How about that nice, beautiful, long one? Mpumalanga. So we're going to start it with a big M. We're doing this with our tummy button. Helps us move the whole of our digestive system. M, P, Pum. This is when you find out if I can spell or not. M, Pum, A. And then an L, Langa. A, N, G, A. I don't think we did all the provinces, but just then we got some of them done. We'll save the rest for another day. Okay, the next exercise is all about being very expressive. It's all with our upper body, and we're going to pretend we're heading off to the clubhouse for a cup of coffee. So we're going to walk on in, we're going to open the door, let the door close behind us, pull out a chair, sit down, open the menu, then the lovely little waitress comes up and she opens her book and takes your order. Cappuccino, chai latte, and a tea. Off she goes, and then she brings it back on a tray, lays the cups down on the table. You're using your imagination, you're using your body. What's your drink? I like a good cappuccino. We're not promoting anywhere in particular for today, but just wherever your favorite cappuccino comes from. So you've got to open up, tear one of those little packs of sugar, put it in, stir it with your spoon. Take the other hand, stir it the other way. Every time you do something the opposite direction, your brain has to stop and think. It is part of this being brain health fitness. Teaspoon on the side, pick up your cup. Is the finger out or not? Tastes good. And another. And maybe your chai latte is in one of those nice long glasses with a long spoon. So it's a different type of way of stirring. And then maybe they bring some nice little sandwiches. Yum. What sandwiches do we like? Cheese and pickle. Gotta be playful, gotta be creative. Call the waitress for the bill. Open your bag, take out the money. Maybe it's a guy. Okay, open your jacket, take your wallet out. Card machine, right there it is. Put in your numbers. Sign the little bill. Push open that door again. You're somewhere beautiful like Steenberg and you're going to stop and look at the view. Then suddenly you see your friend coming down the 18th tee. And he says, do we promote drinking on this show? No, we don't promote drinking on this show. Sorry, with tea and coffee. What am I thinking? Coffee? Tea? It's what my husband always says. Tea? You can be eating, drinking, anything you like, but have fun in the process. Just use your imagination. What about choosing from a selection of juices? Now, what juices are we going to have today? They've all got their caps on, so we're going to reach, pick one up, try turning the cap lid and take it off. That one is not going to shift. Put it down. Oh, maybe we're going to have to try the pineapple juice today. Ah, that comes off a whole lot easier. Pour it into a glass. Nice pineapple juice, very refreshing. Particularly after a good game of golf. Me, I'm happy with another cappuccino. More sugar? Not that I have sugar in my coffee, of course. Just playing with it, using my imagination. Too much sugar is bad for you, by the way. This show's Active and Healthy with Gina. Don't ever forget that. And one of the subjects we are going to be covering is going to be better health and the kind of things you should be having less of. But never stopping having lots and lots of fun in the process. So as we're out here in the beautiful golf course, I'm inspired by the fact that we can play golf. Now, I've got no idea, but you know, you can get to see them walking down and they're pushing their carts, coming up to the tee. They're taking a look at where their ball is, where the hole is. They're reaching in and getting one of their, I want to say bats, but I've got a feeling that's definitely the wrong word. Right, walking around the side now. And now you're supposed to hold your golf thing. What is it? Golfing, you know what I mean. Okay. We're just going to do a little putt. Watching it going in. Didn't quite go in, so you've got to go in there and finish up with a final putt. Okay, now we're walking off to the next tee off point. And we're going to get one of our drivers out. So we reach in, pull off its little cap. They often seem to have very funny caps on them, I notice. Now we're going to turn and do a really fancy golf shot here. It's one hand lower and one higher. And we're going to take it behind us. Up. Did that go a long way or not? I think we missed it altogether. Oh, they always practice first, don't they? You always see the golfers practicing one or two shots before they actually hit the thing. Okay, here we go. That's a long drive. I think I'm supposed to finish up over here, aren't I? As you can see, Gina has absolutely no idea what she's doing. She's just imagining what it would be to play golf. Okay, we're going to try now with the other side. And just a little putt on this side. Heading for the hole. I'm trying it now with my other hand. Would I be any better playing left-handed? The answer is absolutely no, and I do know that you have different shaped drivers going different directions depending on whether you're right or left-handed. Again, imagination, brain health, be playful, just inspired by being in the great outdoors. Now, we're going to finish up today working on balance points. Key balance points that we work on in Ageless Grace are the inner ear, on our core, and on our feet. Between our second and third toe is a key balance point. So we're just having these toes in front of us, and we're just going to drop the heels down, up. So both heels are going down and up, and down, and up, down, and up, down, and up. And let's alternate, one up, one down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So you're thinking balance, balance. Now on both toes together, up, and I want you to just press out and in. So we're pressing in and out. So imagine just stepping on a little red dot on the floor. Balance, 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 balance. Keeping your balance as you age is one of the most important issues that concerns people. So doing simple little exercises, even when you get out of bed or when you're sitting in a chair, are useful. You can even be pulling your ankles towards you. So imagine having a piece of string on the toes, you're pulling that towards you, you're strengthening the ankle joint. You want to stay strong, you want your feet strong, maintain balance. Now thinking about the core, think of your tummy button being pulled towards the spine, you're taking one leg up, keeping your tummy tight and lowering it towards the ground but not touching. You go up and down, up and down, up and down. Relax that tummy. Once more on the other side. Pull it in, keep it tight. Just take it up and down for a few. Try not to touch the floor. Keep breathing. So we're doing a lot of things at once. Our tummy is tight. Our leg is moving up and down. And we're still breathing. So there we are. 10 minutes of Ageless Grace. A little bit of movement that got the joints moving, got the imagination moving, got the expressiveness moving. Okay, so I can't play golf. Forgive me. I was just inspired by this wonderful setting. So I hope you had fun joining me at Steenberg Golf Estate, and I look forward to seeing you. We're going to go to break. You know what the rule is. Go off, get yourself some water, stay hydrated, and I'm going to look forward to seeing you for the second half of the show. Welcome back to Active and Healthy with Gina. I hope you did the first section's exercises, that you had fun with that, which is the most important part of it. And just realize how simple it is to introduce 10 minutes of physical activity into your life. Good for body, good for brain. So we're going to be doing part 2 today. I'm back with my lovely guest from last week, life coach and educator Alice Ashwell. And we were talking about that incredibly meaty subject, but one that you bring a richness and a new awareness to, which is dementia. So Alice, lovely to have you with us again.
Great to be back. Thanks, Gina.
So we wrapped up last week on the fact that you had discovered a great book that enabled you to be able to start taking a new journey with your mum. And give us those 3 pointers again, because it's lovely to hear them from you on what were the ones that shifted your awareness on how you could react differently with her.
Yes. So stop trying to correct the person with dementia.
Right.
What was the second one again?
Ask questions. Difficult questions.
Stage fright.
Just to make sure I'm paying attention as well. But that's great.
Stop contradicting.
Yes.
Don't ask them questions that you know they can't answer. And then find the things that they love doing and that they still can do. And focus on those things, not on the things they've forgotten how to do.
And I think that's so important, because I think we sometimes get a sense that this person with dementia has to be wrapped up in cotton wool because they can't do anything.
Yes.
And yet to retain, as you're saying, that sense of awareness and importance about building on those things that they can do. So you touched right at the very end last week, we spoke about music, and I know that that was important. So how did you work that with your mother?
Well, my mum was a pianist. That was her gift. Can you imagine having a gift to bring the world, and then you're no longer allowed to bring it because you now have dementia, and so you must just sit and watch television all day? So in fact, Mum ended up, until she died at 88, playing the piano till 2 weeks before she died.
She died goosebumps. That's beautiful.
After a bit of an illness. She'd been bedridden for 2 weeks, but just before she was bedridden, she played her last piano piece. And what was beautiful was, even though she forgot the pieces she'd learned, she made music up. She never lost her ability to make beautiful, harmonious music on the piano.
So she couldn't read music sheets any longer,
No.
but it would be just what was instinctively in her, came out through her hands.
It was almost like her soul was creating music.
Wonderful.
So what was beautiful, and I think we really need to remember this with people with dementia or any other condition, is all of us want to be useful. All of us want to be affirmed. And if we can bring our gift into the world, then we can be welcomed and thanked and affirmed for it. And that's what people with dementia really need, because they're so used to being stuck in a corner and things are done for them.
Right.
They're always receiving care, but they're seldom enabled to do the things, even with help, that they could do, like baking or making tea or whatever it is. With a bit of help, they can still do that. And if you say, could I help you to make tea rather than you help me, then, just give them a little bit of assistance.
A small distinction, but a useful one.
Yeah.
Was she able to play piano to the other residents
Yes.
where she lived?
Yeah,
So
they used
she
to
was
love
able to
it.
truly bring entertainment
That's
to
right.
others.
That's right.
I'm sure that was special for all of them.
It was really lovely. So that was the one thing. The other thing that really fed her soul was nature. And she passed that on to me. That's my great love. So, as I say, very often when people get dementia, they are stuck in front of the television set all day long, like a babysitter. Especially, in care homes where there's not a good ratio between care staff and residents. And they're expected to simply sit because there's a fear of them wandering, or there's a fear of them going outside in case they fall. But the irony is that the less we walk, the more likely we are to fall, because our muscles waste, our balance goes, and also the less we go outside, the more likely we are to fall, and when we fall, to break our bones, because what we start to lack is sunlight, and sunlight triggers the production of vitamin D. And vitamin D is good for bone health, strength of our bones, and also for muscle health. And exercise, as you know better than I do, is good for muscle health and for balance and for agility. Important. So one of the things that I always did with Mum, I would never have visited her and stayed indoors all day. When she had the physical capability, I would take her out and we'd walk in the nature reserve or along the river, or I'd go to the beach with her. And later on, when she became more infirm, I would simply take her into the garden and we'd walk around the garden appreciating the beauty of the flowers or the sound of the birds, or what she loved was the sky and the clouds. And so what was amazing was she got a bit of exercise, she got a bit of exposure to beauty, she got fresh air and sunshine, which do us a power of good. And the other thing that I think is important is, from a point of view of senses, especially in care homes, it can be very confusing and very noisy. There are a lot of people around, there are radios and televisions on at full blast because people are getting elderly, they're not hearing as well anymore. And there are lots of staff coming and going. It's very confusing.
It's busy.
Very busy. Or you can be in a ward where there is no stimulation. There's nothing on the walls, there are no pot plants, there's nothing. So going outdoors, there's the right level of stimulation and beauty that you can appreciate. And when you as a care partner, like a child or a partner or a friend, come to visit that person, even if you just sit outdoors, there's all sorts of things you can talk about in the present moment. Because when they are no longer remembering things to talk about, and they can't talk about the future, and they can't talk about abstract ideas, they can refer to the concrete world around them, to this flower, to that bird they just heard, to that beautiful sky. There are things you can still enjoy together. And that's why I'm passionate about people remembering the outdoors when a friend of theirs or a loved one gets dementia. It enlivens them.
I think that's absolutely true, as we know, Phil. And it's not just for older people, isn't it? I mean, we see it from children, and children these days don't get out enough and get all those great benefits of what you were specifying, whether that's going to be vitamin A that's good for the body, the upliftment of being out in fresh air. The children are spending too much time on their smartphones, on tablets and computers and television, and not enough time out. And how equally important it is to be able to still give that to the older people in our lives that we're helping take care of. And to expand, I think, the vision maybe for our viewers to realize that they might be concerned and thinking that they have to keep a loved one close to home, and actually to realize how important it is to be able to get them outside and enjoying nature, or encouraging them to do 10 minutes of Ageless Grace like we do at the beginning of the show.
Exactly, and why not outside?
Absolutely. So very, very valuable. So that's wonderful. Now, you spoke about that you were still walking with her even though at the late stages, so she kept mobile for?
I think because we'd always done that, Mum actually could walk right to the end. Many people become confined to a wheelchair as they age, particularly with dementia. But in fact, Mum could walk right to the end, well, until she was bedridden when she was ill. But even though she relied upon a shoulder or an arm, she was able to walk still, yeah.
And you spoke about her losing the ability to speak towards the end. How long a period was that, Alice?
Almost 2 years.
Quite a while.
You know, for quite some time she couldn't remember the words. And we all know how that feels, but that becomes virtually everything. So for a while she was speaking words, but they weren't making sense. And then eventually she lost even the memory for words. And there's that word gobbledygook, which is when we just babble, we make up words, like a little baby who's learning to speak. It's a very similar thing.
Right.
But I do have one beautiful story about the mystery of dementia. We get these tiny little windows now and again that remind you that even though dementia may be a disease of the brain, it is not a disease of the soul. And on her deathbed, when my brother returned from Nepal to be with her in her last days, she had not been able to speak for probably 2 years. She woke up from what was basically almost a coma when he walked into her room, looked straight at her and said, "That's lovely, well done." And to me that was the most beautiful example of how we very often look at a person just as a physical and mental being, but in effect we are souls and spirits, and that is not going away, and that is present to the day that we slip into the next realm, and that to me is the mystery of dementia and its blessing.
Well, I think that's a wonderfully inspiring story for us to finish up with. So Alice, thank you for sharing that journey, and I think it's beautiful that you are so passionate about this to make other people more aware that it has wonderful benefits, that you can still have a loving, wonderful, incredible relationship with this parent, friend, sibling, whoever it is, that it needn't be all depressing, that treat it differently, enter into their realm.
Yes.
Instead of expecting them to be in yours.
Absolutely, well said.
So, Alice Ashwell, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story and enlightening us all a little bit more about a journey with dementia. Thank you very much for being with us. So, lovely to find out more and a better understanding, and I hope that you have found that interesting at home. There will be a blog on my Ageless Grace with Gina website that will give you some more information, the book that Alice mentioned, and just know that you can still love and honor the person in your life who has dementia, that, as Alice said, the soul, the heart of that person is still there, is still alive, that you can still connect with it, can still have an enriching relationship. So thank you for being with us, and I look forward to seeing you on next week's episode of Active and Healthy with Gina. Bye-bye. You may not know that Ageless Grace needs more educators. So if you would like to do what I do, teach these wonderful classes to your own family and friends, or to groups in retirement villages and healthcare centres, then become a certified educator. It is a 2-day course. It's happening 28th and 29th of October in Cape Town and the 4th, 5th of November in Johannesburg. agelessgracewithgina.com. You'll find all the details. Come and teach this program.